Businesses often run trainings for their employees, providing guidance on new technologies, best practices, ethics, that sort of thing.
But a growing number, even here in Maine, are preparing their employees for a grim reality, active shooter or mass casualty training. David Guilford sat in on one of those meetings.
Every now and then, Hebert Construction hosts an all-hands meeting. Sometimes it's team building or to update on projects. On this day,
now, has anyone ever put direct pressure on a wound before?
Things got more serious.
I turn this windlass until the bleeding stops.
Applying tourniquets, hacking wounds, all useful skills that could save lives when someone is injured on a construction site. But this is the third in a series of trainings on active shooters. Employees were trained on how to avoid or even fight an attacker. I visited a lengthy morning session where they learned how to treat a trauma victim on the job.
Talked about it. You have to be adaptable. Every situation is different.
We're trying to empower the employees. We're trying to give them permission that you can actually do things.
Adam Gormley helps lead Derigo RMS, a Maine company specializing in these trainings. Gormley was a game warden.
The worst time to try to work a problem out is when you're having that problem.
Ryan Wagner is a Freeport cop.
And spread it out.
Other officers and EMTs help teach as well.
Because we don't want to let that air back into the chest cavity.
It's not okay. What we want to do is train organizations to empower their teams so that they can be prepared.
I got a vein popping?
There were some laughs among work friends at times.
Jeez.
Like those at the table with Ian Bannister, who paid his dues pounding dirt and is now Hebert's safety coordinator.
It's unfortunate that we have to prepare ourselves for these things, but we also have to realize that it's a very real and possible situation. The probability of it could be 0.01%. But the possibility of it is always going to be 100.
Bannister hoped his colleagues remembered what they learned and were ready to act if their workplace became something else. There were 524 workplace homicides in the U.S. in 2022, according to the most recent figure from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's a 9% increase from the year before. And Hebert's CEO, Simon Hebert, said violence has come close to their work sites.
We had a project where we had turned over a phase that was now occupied and whatnot, and there was an active shooting situation within that occupied space during, and we had an active project going on a block away.
The company has also been based in Lewiston for more than 80 years. For this group, the issue is personal.
I'm from Lewiston, grew up in Lewiston, born and raised, lived there my entire life.
And there's a huge mentality of it doesn't happen here.
Operations manager Nicole Lemieux is also in charge of safety.
And I think we're learning over the last couple of years that it does unfortunately happen here, and it is something that needs to be brought to the forefront of everyone's mind a couple times a year.
Very nice.
Derigo hosts office leadership and culture training as well, but Gormley said more and more employers are signing up for trainings like this.
If we look at some of these incidents, they're over in less than a minute. When we can get seconds back, the probability of survival goes way up.
Lemieux said this isn't about making workers fearful, instead comfortable, that they know what to do if the worst happens near them.
I'd rather have the stress now about making sure that we're prepared than the stress of going to sleep at night worrying about whether or not the people with the boots on the ground are going to be okay if something happens.
That was David Guilford reporting. Keep in mind, this is just one training service in one construction company, but industries across the state are having sessions like this one.
Hospitality Maine, for example, said it is vital for any hospitality businesses to have an active shooter plan in place.